I know you're wondering, why does she have this big old picture of this lady right here? Well, I have it there because those fingers tell me everything. It means okay. Could also stand for if you look at it, it looks like it could also be a six. But either way it goes, this individual has a story to tell. Hey, it's me, Felicia Lockhart, and I want to welcome you to the Lockhart Perspective. We're going to look at a couple of stories today because they mean a lot. The first thing that I want to take a gander at is what happened on the night that the township there in Illinois, specifically Thornton, decided that they were going to nominate this gal in. We're going to look at March 3rd when they had to make the decision to put somebody in place as the supervisor. Okay? That's what we're going to do first. We're going to take a look at that. I'm going to blow this up so that you guys can see it. Okay, let's see. It's at 125 now. You got to see this. You really got to see this because it always helps to have friends in high places. This is where the story is coming from, and it's dealing specifically with this lady. It's thelansingjournal.com. That's where it's coming from. Let me get over here and do some homework first. I got to do something here. Let me make sure that I am taking care of this piece right quick. But I want you guys to focus really, really long and hard because remember, we keep saying there's somebody that's got to be helping this lady. Now, doesn't necessarily mean that there definitely is. But what we do know is stuff don't look right. And when it don't look right, you got to believe that there's a problem. You got to believe it. So let's take a look at this. Let's get down in here. I want to come back on this side because I just went over here to fiddle faddle with something. All right, we faddled. Okay, so let's take a look at this right here. 3 month recap. This is what this is. This is for June 3rd, 2022. Okay, June 3rd, 2022. Now it says 3 month recap. Township level politics get complicated following Zuccarelli's death. Now, Frank Zuccarelli was the former supervisor who passed away there in Illinois. But why am I harping on this? Well, because as we all started asking questions the other day, my mind started circulating and wondering what exactly could it be that's going on? Hello there, Charlie Sigler, Doc Boss, Dark Lake Revived, and William. Get a load of this, you guys. Get a load of this. The night was March 3rd when Dalton Mayor Tiffany Hinyard was appointed Thornton Township Supervisor. But as we scroll down, I want you guys to see who was present and exactly what happened. It said at the last minute, there was a last minute nomination. The March 3rd special meeting began at 10:55 p.m. And in spite of the late hour, approximately 50 observers gathered in the basement of Thornton Township headquarters. Now, following the roll call and the Pledge of Allegiance, the trustees went directly into closed session. They returned at 11:14 p.m. and Clerk Loretta Wells called for nominations. What followed was a series of nominations, votes, and abstentions that included Jones, Washington, Elston, ZAP Director Stanley Brown. Now I'm going to highlight him. Stanley Brown is also a Dalton trustee currently. Okay. Another person, Terry Wells, the mayor of Phoenix, Illinois, and husband of this right here, this township clerk, Loretta Wells. Get a load of this name. Illinois State Senator Napoleon Harris. He was there. And at 11:48 p.m., Tiffany Henyard, that's who was all convened. The motion to nominate Henyard was made by the trustee by the name of Christopher Gonzalez, and Henyard was sworn in minutes before midnight. So, seems easy peasy, right? I mean, no harm, no foul. Except, I want you to take a look at what this senator does. I want you to take a gander at him. He is the senator who there in Illinois handles insurance. So let's just take a gander at that one. All right? This is him. Look at him. Strapping young fellow, isn't he? Of course he is. But the question for him right now that's being tossed around, pardon the pun, he was a former football player. But he was not just a former football player, he played in the NFL. And just like any NFL player, they have a history of playing college ball and even high school. So he went to Thornton High School. And that's where he played. Then he played for a couple of teams professionally. Well, let's get into this. As chairman of the Illinois Senate's Insurance Committee, State Senator Napoleon Harris III is a gatekeeper on legislation affecting the multi-billion-dollar insurance industry. Will you please let that poor baby out that room? Now the Flossmoor Democrat, a former NFL player, has joined the industry that he's helping to regulate, partnering with two men who run an insurance brokerage called Max Group in the southwest suburbs. Y'all, my grandson's downstairs. I gotta let this baby out. Hold on, because he knows I don't like hearing him cry. It's okay, man. Here comes grandmother. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. All right. He is in that room. You guys know Buddy. You all have seen Buddy. So Buddy is a friend of the channel. Yes, he is. He's like an old man and he's only a year. Hey, man, that's my baby. Okay. So anyway, now the Flossmoor Democrat, a former NFL player, has joined the industry that he's helping to regulate, partnering with two men who run an insurance brokerage called Max Group in the southwest suburbs. So he's got an insurance company in the southwest suburbs. Y'all better connect the dots if I don't right quick. Even though Harris's chairman role can affect industry profits and regulations and consumer pocketbooks, Harris insists there's no conflict of interest with what he calls a new business venture. What planet did this cat come from? I mean, tell me, what rock has he been hiding under where he doesn't understand that this, just the very appearance of evil, is what this is? And it's also so convenient because him being from, the southwest suburbs, or however they just phrased it, of Illinois, that means he can help a whole lot of people get insurance, right? Man, I'm telling you, these people are getting set up. They're listening to somebody who just don't care. And the people that they're listening to, they're steering them in the wrong way. Or maybe they know what they're doing is not right. And that has a conflict that just stinks to high heaven. And they just don't care because they've been told somewhere along the line, letter A, it's going to be like that movie. Just leave the world behind, man. Ain't nothing going to happen. Just get what you can get and get on up out of here because it's going to be a mess in a minute. And you're going to need all the money to run. Or they could just be that corny where they don't think that there's going to be anything that'll be done to them. It goes on to say, quote, "This was an opportunity to support a local business run by two area guys with long-standing impeccable credentials in the field," Harris said via a text message. He continues with, "These are people that I've known for years. They've helped me out with my own insurance needs well before I arrived in the Senate. My role is that of an investor. None of this bears any relationship to my work in Springfield." Then he continues with, if you look at the results, it is clear the insurance committee has been about improving the industry for consumers. Well, Illinois Secretary of State's office, his panel, and the rest of the General Assembly recently backed a series of consumer friendly industry reforms pushed by Governor J.B. Pritzker, including banning what are so called short term limited duration health insurance policies. According to the National Association of Insurance Commissioners, such policies are designed to fill temporary gaps in coverage when an individual is transitioning from one source of coverage to another and generally are not subject to the consumer protections. Hey, boy, Democrats in Congress have described these kinds of plans as dangerous and unregulated and a threat to the health and financial well being of American families that everybody seems to be picking the carcass of right now. It appears that there's a bunch of vultures just swarming around the U.S., and all they're doing every now and again as we're all walking to the mailbox in the morning is picking somebody off on the top of their head and continuing on their merry way. It's exactly what's happening. Nobody is there to protect nobody. Even the regulators need regulating, and who gonna regulate them? I know, regulators. Mount up, all of y'all. Come on, let's go. Protect yourself. Protect your family. Based in Crestwood, the Max Group helps clients procure business, personal, and life insurance and advertises various types of insurance coverage for public agencies. Public freaking agencies. For public agencies, including municipal governments and park districts, agencies that often rely on state legislators for funding. Like other state officials, Harris must file an economic interest statement each year showing outside income and financial investments. The paperwork he filed in May mentioned for the first time Max Group Plus, which shares the same executives and address with Max Group. Harris, who joined the General Assembly in 2013 and became the Insurance Committee chairman in 2019, right on time for COVID, wouldn't answer any questions about how he came to be an investor in the company, whether that entailed putting in money and what sort of income he might make from the deal. Harris has also long derived side income through a company that runs a Beggar's Pizza franchise in Harvey. Look up, where is Harvey? What city is that in? What township is that? Harvey. What is that right by? Harvey. Anybody? Let's continue. In 2022 and 2023, Harris's campaign fund accepted contributions from the Max Group, totaling $2,500 according to the Illinois State Board of Elections records. He also accepted at least $60,000 overall from the insurance industry since the beginning of last year, State Elections Board records show. That includes $10,000 from Allstate Insurance Company, $7,500 from State Farm Insurance, $6,000 from Cigna, and $1,500 from the political arm of the Illinois Life and Health Insurance Council that had been involved in talks over Pritzker's legislation this year. John Patterson, a spokesperson for the Illinois Senate President Don Harmon on Oak Park Democrat said Harris has shown himself to be knowledgeable, independent, and a knowledgeable, independent voice, and has fostered conversations in the insurance committee that have led to pragmatic solutions that work. Harmon has also been a recipient of significant campaign money from the insurance industry, including more than $100,000 combined from Allstate, State Farm, and more than $10,000 from the Illinois Life and Health Insurance Council, with the group helping throw a fundraiser for him in December. Harris grew up in Dixmoor. He attended Thornton Township High School in Harvey. He played football at Northwestern University before becoming a linebacker for the Oakland Raiders, Minnesota Vikings, and the Kansas City Chiefs. He ran for U.S. Senate unsuccessfully in 2016, losing in the Democratic Party to the current U.S. Senator Tammy Duckworth. Asked about Harris's insurance committee chairmanship and his insurance broker investments, Pritzker's office would only say that the governor looks forward to this new era of consumer protection and will continue working with the General Assembly to deliver even more reform in the future. We are cooked. This place is absolutely freaking cooked. Can you believe this? These are the kinds of things while we're all divided, looking at all the smoke that's up the top. These are the kinds of things that are going on around us. Now, some of you may have known this, but if you didn't, put a 1 in the chat. If you didn't already know this, say, I didn't know. And if you don't want to say that, it's all good. Hit the like button. Just do something to let me know you're here. Because I can't be the only person that sees this as an issue, and I don't think that I am. There was an interview, and this interview I caught this morning. It was of one of the gentlemen that was alleged to have been involved in some pretty risque things back in the day. They're in Dalton, and he was the what is that called when they go into the buildings? He was an inspector of sorts. And I watched this video. Thank you, Charlie. And I watched the video, but I want to tell you guys something. The reason why nothing's going to happen out there in that area is because letter A, stuff's been going on all along. And B, people with deep pockets is backing somebody. And I'm going to also say this. I'm going to allegedly. Okay, I allege that's what's happening. But here's what I'm going to say with that. Homegirl better not shade to the right or to the left, and neither better this big old fella we just got through seeing, that tall, deep, dark, and delicious glass of chocolate milk. He better not go to the right or the left. He better keep straight, exactly where these people are telling him, because once you start to dance with these folk right here that they all dancing with, baby, you're going to be the only one to take the fall for stuff. I couldn't believe it when I saw this today. But what I did see on that interview tells me, based on what I had, Sandy Aaron and I have been doing some looking and some digging. And I wanted to call her and say, oh my gosh, based on this interview that I just heard, it answers some of the questions that I've had. I ain't going to tell y'all what it is yet, but I will tell you this. Believe only some of what you see and some and none of what you hear. That's what I'll tell you. All right. That's all I wanted to do is bring this to you. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for hanging out with me for the last 20 minutes. You guys make me smile all the time, and I'm happy that you're here. I want you guys to remember what we always say on this channel, and that is that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High. You guys take care of yourselves, and then you can turn around and take care of everybody else. And until I see you again, make sure that you take care of my friend, because my friend is you. Take care. Like a perspective.